Wow, thanks for the weapons, Cheater. You're very welcome, brother. By the way, any idea where you got these from? Your closet. I kinda stole it. You could've just asked, you know. Sup guys, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Yolopark Rise of the Beasts Cheater, which is a figure I am quite excited to review, and is also the third and last figure I need to review. As before, I already did Scourge and Rhinox. But before we take a look at the figure, let's take a quick look at the packaging. On the front, you get this nice little CGI rendition of Cheater in his robot mode, and on the alternate mode as well as a plethora of words, names, and logos across the front of the box. On the top is a flipped Transformers Rise of the Beasts logo, and on the bottom is a not-so-flipped Transformers Rise of the Beasts logo. On one side is the CG rendition of Cheater in his cheetah mode, and on the other side is basically the same thing except with his robot mode. But then taking a quick look at the back of the packaging, you get a little bit more info on what you get inside the packaging, as well as some features and some add-ons. On the middle is somewhat an instruction manual, but Cheater does come with an instruction manual inside the packaging, so technically there's no need for this. But lastly, on the right is just a whole bunch of words and even foreign words, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyways, let's get to the unboxing. And here we have all the parts over here, wrapped in bubble, as well as this add-on for Bumblebee's accessories. But anyways, let's remove this bubble wrap and remove all these pieces over here, and let's get to the assembly. With, of course, this also being included. And here we have Yolopark Cheater out of the packaging. And first impressions, just like the other two wave mates, this figure is awesome. Painting and sculpting, pretty good. The details are immaculate. Does a better job than the Studio Series 1. Of course, you could see some of the endoskeleton peeking through all of the shells, but at some points the endoskeleton is not even trying to hide. Whatever. The head sculpt looks nice, although it feels a little weird. I don't know, that's just me. It looks accurate. Oh, and the claw hands looked really nice. For the record, these are pointy and somewhat painful. Oh, and the chest looks nice too. It almost looks as if this is the face of Cheater's cheetah mode. Or at least I see the hole for the eyes. Although, one thing I noticed with this figure is that there's no scratch marks, no battle damaged battle scratches or whatever, unlike Rhinox and Optimus Primal. Also, on the top of the waist, there's a buttload of cheetah spots, but on the legs, it doesn't seem like there's any trace. Is that how it was in the movie? I don't know. The legs look pretty cool too, especially the feet. Something interesting about the feet is that there's like extra bits of cheetah mode pieces wrapped around the foot. If you look more closely, you could see the endoskeleton of the foot with all these extra yellow-ish? It's more of a broad yellowish sort of paint for these little extra bits wrapped around the foot. If you look at the back, there's a little bit more endoskeleton details wrapped around. And then on the back of the legs, there's not too much broad yellow, but rather more light silver. Now for painting, it does see quite a repetition of whatever this yellow is, dark gray and the silver, as well as whatever the color of the spots is, and some green eyes. But predominantly, whatever this yellow is, silver and gray. At this point, it's just a formula for like 3 predominant sorts of paint, with the other 2 not being as prominent as the other 3. So altogether, that is about 5 colors of paint, with 3 being prominent. Now, quality-wise, the joints are too bad. Not really loose at all, as some of the joints are super stiff, especially around this shoulder thing. Barely wants to move, and then of course this thing likes to pop off when applying force to make the attempt of moving the shoulder at free will. Also, the joint for crunching this chest piece forward and backwards is slightly loose than all the other joints, but not too bad. Unlike Rhinox, the head can move a little bit more freely without the worry of this guy's head falling off. So yeah, much better. Other than that, I can't think of anything else to critique in regards to quality. Now, like Rhinox, Cheetor didn't have much screen time either, but he did carry a few lines along the duration of the film. I could definitely tell that his voice was much different to the original Beast Wars voice. But anyways, I think it's time we start talking about this figure's accessories, to which he does come with two of these nice little staff swords, I suppose is what you call them, one being longer than the other, which is quite accurate. The Studio Series one also did the same thing. But anyways, if you want to plug them in together, you just close them in right there, and you get this nice staff piece, to which if you want Cheetor to hold both of his staffs, it's just better if you plug both of them in, and there you go. Cheetor's holding both swords in one staff. And there you go. Cheetor's ready to slice off some Terracons. And also yeet the sword onto his opponents. Unfortunately, no weapon storage though. Anyways, Cheetor comes with different Anyways, he comes with different hands. Like the ones that he has on now are used to hold his accessories, but then Cheetor has these grasp-ish sort of hands, but then he also has a pair where his hands are a little bit more spread out than the grasp-ish sort of hands. But for now, we're going to stick to the hands that are used for gripping the staff, because I like those type of hands more anyways. Now, just like Rhinox and Optimus Prime, Cheetor also came with some extra accessories for Bumblebee, so let's take a little detour with my boy Bumblebee, as Cheetor did come with extra bits that are used to improve this figure. Actually, he looks much better with them. Starting off with the battle mask, which looks really nice, although I do feel as if there's a little bit of paint lacking on the head. Just like the head over here, these little things can spread out, but don't move them around too much, they can loosen up, just like on the original. Anyways, if you want, you can remove the forehead just like that, and Bumblebee has like 0 brains right now. It's okay. He has a little bit more brains when you plug on his helmet, and look at that. Big improvement. You know, they tried making Bumblebee's face mask somewhat menacing, but let's be honest, it's kinda cute. Oh, and if this is bothering you, don't mind it. I accidentally break the shoulder pad off, as well as this thing. This thing decided to break off as well. Not cool. But the face mask isn't the only thing Cheetor comes with, as Cheetor also came with 2 stingers, not 1. Thank you very much, Yolopark. Only just like the face mask, they do look like they are a little bit paint lackluster. I'm not complaining. Anyways, in order to tab the guns in, there is a slot over here for that ball joint, to which you just simply snap in, and for some reason it is quite difficult to snap this thing in. I don't know why, but nonetheless I got it in, and here Bumblebee is with his new add-ons. Now you're probably wondering, wouldn't the weapon move around since there's a ball joint? Well, that's why there's this yellow ridge wrapped around the arm to prevent that from happening. Now Bumblebee's really gonna knock you out. Anyone get that reference? Please don't copyright me. Also, I think from now on I'm gonna display Bumblebee with his battle mode on. Unfortunately, no weapon storage though. I think I'm gonna stop complaining about that now. But now, back to Cheetor. Moving on into articulation. Stiff articulation at that. Ball joint at the... Okay, that wasn't supposed to happen. The neck is also on a ball joint, which allows for a double up and down, a double side to side, and of course every ball joint can be a swivel. Shoulder is on a stiff ball joint, which allows for a bend at the shoulder, and of course a very tight butterfly joint. Big shoulder pad is also on a ball joint, which allows an up and a down, side to side, and a swivel, but you can move it out so that way it can allow for an extended bend at the shoulder, bicep swivel, double bend at the elbow. Wrist is on a ball joint, which allows an up and a down, side to side, and a swivel. The chest can rock from side to side, as well as crunch forward and backwards. Looks like you can crunch it all the way outwards to look as if he's getting stabbed. Another thing to point out is that these little pieces tend to pop off way too easily, as they are tabbed in right there, so it causes quite a frustration in order to tab this back in. Anyways, there's also a waist swivel, legs can spread, leg can move forward. Forward movement can also extend with that new sort of thing that's used for articulation nowadays. Unfortunately, due to this butt flap over here, the leg can't really move backwards without bending it. But anyways, here's a thigh swivel, double bend at the knee. And for some foot articulation, there is a foot swivel, up and a down, side to side. And then lastly, the front of the foot can move upwards and downwards. Actually, in addition, I believe the toes can move up and down, sort of? Actually, no, not really. But there was one of the toes that made the attempt of tabbing off. That being this one on the left foot. It's okay, I put it back on. Anyways, that pretty much sums up all the articulation for this guy. And yeah, this guy comes in packing with articulation, which can allow for some pretty good posability, like this. This, which is something I saw that toy guy do, and cause why not, he can also do this. However, I'm sure there are people that could do poses for this guy better than I can. But anyways, with the articulation out of the way, it's time we move on to size comparison. Starting off with his two wave mates, here he is next to Rhinox, Scourge, Optimus Primal, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee. Moving on to some mainline Rise of the Beast figures, here he is next to mainline CHEETOR, mainline Bumblebee, which I believe Bumblebee is the character that CHEETOR is based off of. Or at least the Beast version of Bumblebee, anyways. To be honest, wish we could have seen more of that Bumblebee and CHEETOR screen time. Of them, of course, fighting alongside with each other, and who knows, becoming friends. Moving on to some Studio Series, here he is next to the Studio Series Bumblebee, Nightbird, Scorponok, which is currently the only live-action Predacon out there, Freezer and Novocaine. Here he is next to Studio Series Airazor, Studio Series CHEETOR, Rhinox, and lastly, here he is next to the Studio Series Optimus Primal. And the gang's all here. Well, at least 6 of them. Of course, there's the 3 unofficial Yoloparks that haven't come out yet. Well, won't be coming out until a long time. Maybe sometime around the latter half of this year, or maybe the early half of next year. But anyways, can't wait to check those ones out because Mirage is one of them. Surprisingly, the other 2 are not Rise of the Beast. One is from the Bumblebee movie, and one of them is from The Last Night. We'll be taking a look at those guys when they come out. But anyways, that's all 6 of them. They're all here. It's a shame there won't be any more Yolopark content for a while. Unless I talk about the G1 stuff and the miniature G1 stuff and the bigger ones, but I won't be getting into those. I don't want them. Now, unfortunately, there is going to be no transformation as this guy does not have any transformation, but it's alright. Anyways, I hope to see more screen time of this guy and Rhinox in the sequel, aside from all the G.I. Joe stuff. Who even watches that? I don't know. Leave a comment down below if you guys still watch that stuff. Speaking of which, leave a comment down below which one you guys like more, CHEETOR or Rhinox. I'm gonna go with Big Rhino Boy. CHEETOR's alright, don't get me wrong, but I do like Big Boy. But anyways, I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I have to say for this guy. Overall, pretty great figure. Definitely recommend picking him up. If you do plan on picking this figure up, I definitely recommend Amazon. And just to think that Yolopark would be a cheaper route, not really if you add the shipping, because Yolopark does do a shipping fee, which will end up costing about the same much as the price on Amazon, and then you have to wait like 3 weeks for it to arrive from Yolopark. So it's just better if you go for Amazon, or perhaps get a Yolopark partnership, so that way Yolopark could probably ship you these guys for free. But I don't know, bro. But anyways, if you guys like what you saw in this video, be sure to slam that like button, share this with your friends, be sure to turn on post notifications up, that way you don't miss another video, and most importantly, be sure to hit that big red subscribe button. And yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya!